Let's equip some higher numbers first. Alright, higher numbers equipped, because I didn't equip any higher numbers before, for a while. So, I like the, stage theme for this level. It's got a problem, though, and we're gonna see what that problem is right now. Every time you move from one part of the level to another, so whenever you change rooms, whenever you go through a doorway or whatever, the music actually resets, which is a shame, because I actually kind of really like the music for this. It's the Stage 6 theme from Touhou 11, but it's got a little bit of the Stage 5 theme, Lullaby for Deserted Hell, thrown into the end there. But you don't get to hear the whole thing as I imagine it's intended, because it just kind of resets whenever you go from one bit to another bit. So, right now we're gonna go meet one of Satori's pets. She already explained that to us. We have to fix that cauldron. At the end of the last video, after we beat the fairies, last level rather, we beat the fairies and somehow an earthquake happened and we ended up in old hell. Now the fairies are lost, we gotta go find them. So the way you find the fairies is we gotta explore hell a little bit. Go through certain doorways and stuff. But here's a doorway. There's a lot of doorways here. And this doorway leads to a dead end, which is unfortunate, because that means that there are no fairies this way. When you go to these little dead end bits, you'll find some enemies to fight, maybe a chest or two. There's really no reason to go through all these doors though, because not all of them lead to the fairies, and a lot of them just kind of lead to little empty rooms like that. There's a way you could tell apart the dead-end rooms from doorways that'll have a fairy behind it, and the fairy doorways will look special, just like this. So whenever you have to find one of the fairies, you have to go through a room, and it's a little bit of an obstacle course. This one, it's to stick to these little paths here without falling into the water. If you fall into the spiky water, it's instant death. So that's one fairy down, 2 to go. So like I said, you don't need to go through all these other doorways, but this one looks a little different from all the other ones, because all the other ones are glowing, and this one doesn't have a special gate over it. Alright, Dante's Inferno. So you don't have to worry about this rope too much, just, you know, go straight, which shouldn't be too hard if you're using keyboard controls. I haven't used keyboard controls on this game. According to the people who English patched it, the keyboard controls are absolutely terrible. If you're using a gamepad though, you could just use your D-pad and that'll just make it go in a straight line without really having to worry about anything. So that's what I'm doing here. So that lava there is blocking our progress, so we gotta go through this doorway. Keep going. So I actually kind of like this level of this game, mostly because it looked kind of cool. It's kind of big, and there's like some random paths you can follow. Like there's other rooms and stuff you can look through, but like in this game, there's no real need to do that because, like we saw before, it's just going to lead to like some dead end where you just fight enemies or, you know, just do a chest. There's an alternate path that I could have taken if I went up instead of down this way. And there's a path that'll lead to a chest, but I mean, hey, you don't really need that chest, do ya? I don't. Also, there's a new enemy type in this level. It's this big cart guy with a skull for a face. I don't know what his deal is. There's also a little bit of platforming to do in hell, so you got these spikes. If you land on the spikes, they kind of knock you back. If you fall in the lava, it's an instant death. You gotta kind of time your jump, but you don't have to worry about it too much because it's really easy. If you're playing as Remi, though, Remi has a higher, floatier jump, so you can actually jump over the whole thing without having to worry about landing on the spikes or landing on the safe spot. You can just flutter right over it. I also like this section of this level because it's the biggest room in this level, and as a consequence of that, you basically get to hear the whole of the music that's supposed to play for this level uninterrupted, as opposed to before where you're kind of just switching from room to room, so you only get to hear like the first like 4 seconds of it over and over again. I kind of dislike that in games where when you move from one room to another, the music resets, or in the kind of like RPGs where like turn-based RPGs where you get sent to like a little instance for battle to happen, which is separate from the overworld, and then when you go back to the overworld after the battle finishes, the overworld music starts up all over again from the beginning, meaning if you get into a lot of like encounters where you fight, the music's going to restart a lot. And I kind of don't like that, because sometimes dungeon music or overworld music is good. And there's some games I've played, like Legend of Heroes games, actually do it where the music doesn't reset, it actually just kind of picks up right from where it left off. And I like it when games do that better, because then you get to hear the whole song, which is, you know, why wouldn't you want your player to hear the whole song? But it's weird in this game because only this level seems to have that issue. The rest of them seem to be fine. Now you want to be careful there, because if you're too close to the bottom of that cage and you're not far enough out, you'll end up hitting it and messing up the jump. That's 2 fairies down. 1 more to go. I don't really know what this caged off bit is all about. I don't think it opens either. If it does, I'm actually not 100% sure how you get it open. So the first one you had to avoid some spikes, and the last one you just had to avoid some obstacles. It was a platformer. Here we're platforming too, but now we have to avoid spinning blades. And the problem with these spinning blades is not that they move slow so they're easy to avoid, but some of them move faster so they're not as easy to avoid. Also, they knock you back. So if you hit one, it'll knock you back, and if you're not careful, it'll knock you right into the lava. And again, that's instant death, and then you have to start all over. There are checkpoints though, so you don't have to start all over. It kind of just depends on your perspective, really. But you don't want to start all over after you've made some kind of progress. So, I mean, there's a couple of alternate paths you could take, but I'm just going to go straight for the fairy. Really, the alternate paths just amount to, do you want to go left or right? So now that we've done that, the lava flow that was blocking our progress before is gone. And I'm pretty sure this whole cylindrical room we're in right now, it's all one big thing. So every time we've been in a cylindrical room like this, it's actually been like the same room. It's just kind of been divvied up. So before we actually move on, I want to equip this new spell card we got. Yeah, let's fight Touhou. So when I first played this game and I got to this boss fight, I was actually kind of pumped. I was kind of excited because I like Touhou. She's not my favorite Touhou, but she's definitely in the top 15. So whenever she uses this attack when I'm playing Asaki, I always seem to mess up and get hit at least once. She's got a bunch of different moves. She's already demonstrated most of them. She'll use this combo, and at the end of the combo, she'll either do a little spinny attack, kind of like Remilia's attack that looks very similar, or she'll shoot a sun at you. This spell card will pull you in, so you kind of want to walk away from it, or else you get sucked in and you take a lot of damage. As you notice, Oku does a lot of damage. I don't want to say it's just because she's Oku, but it might just be because she's Oku. Also, this arrangement of Oku's theme is really cool. That spell card won't pull you in and won't really do anything, you just want to avoid all the suns and shots. Actually starting to mix it up just a tiny little bit by using some of her other attacks that she hasn't been using as much. And I'm almost starting to screw up a little bit by getting hit too much. I hope I can still get this fight. Oh, okay, good. I was worried I'd lose there for a second. Oh, Oku.